Hey guys, just wanted to make a quick update video today. Been away from YouTube for almost 2 weeks again. Just super busy. It's never planned. I actually had intended to make a video last week, but just got caught up. I've got so much on the go all the time, but I do think that this is important to keep this updated. For example, since last time I've had two different tattoo appointments. Um, First was last Wednesday. We blacked out Spawn. You could still kind of see the halo of him there. That's quite often the case with fresh blackout, um, especially in an area of fully saturated black. When you black out something else in that area, it will stick out. So most of all of my black work has been done like 2 to 4 times. So that one piece is going to look a little bit different. So I wanted to show that guy today. So yeah, it's got to get smoothed out into the other black. That'll be another, like the end of a session or something. We'll hit that quick and make it smoother. But yeah, anytime you have, say, a black arm, but you decide to keep one piece not blacked out, well, if you later black that guy out, he's going to look a little bit different, or that's going to look a little bit different than the rest of the arm until you smooth it out, which is usually going to take 2 sessions to fully match up. So yeah, the Spawn's gone. I didn't get any real pushback on it on my Instagram. I was kind of surprised, but I guess maybe not that many people have noticed, but it was a favorite of a lot of people's, so I was kind of like, I wasn't anxious or nervous or anything like that, but I was kind of not like proud to show that one off so much. Sometimes you'll get a new tattoo and you can't wait to show the world, but then you have the ones that you do just for you that maybe don't make sense to the rest of the world, you know? Which is much of what I do these days. But I seem to recall when I was getting, we'll call them normal tattoos, like you get a piece of your sleeve done, or you get like a new tattoo on your leg or something, and you can't wait to show people. You know, people are excited about it. But with blackwork progress, it's confusing to a lot of people. Like, oh, why'd you get rid of that? Truth be told, the Spawn tattoo was one of my favorite tattoos of all my tattoos, and it was actually the same artist that did it blacked it out. So it's kind of like living a whole life and then being buried or something is the way I think about it. It's it had its time, and then the same person who brought it into this world took it out of this world, kind of thing. So yeah, that was an interesting experience. Actually, this whole arm was done by the guy who blacked it out. Um, Another artist that blacked out this arm actually was quite upset, or the artist who did this arm, when I got this arm blacked out, was quite upset. It's probably always a little offensive to the artist that does the work after once you've had it blacked out, because they probably think, oh, you hated it or you think it's shit or something. And it's, again, just to reiterate my past thoughts on the matter, it's never about that for me. It might be about that for someone else, but for me, it's just a change. It's not necessarily an upgrade. Like, I get all the time people messaging me still. Like, I've got them every day. Why'd you get rid of your old tattoos? I liked your old tattoos. Why'd you block them out? Like, for a long time, I had a copy and paste answer for a lot of these kinds of questions, but now it's gotten to the point where I don't answer them all anymore because I have enough on Instagram and even YouTube to where if you were actually interested in an answer, you have it several times already. So unless I'm doing like an Ask Me Anything or something and then you're prepared for that, it's just the sheer volume of the same question over and over again has become not necessarily disgusting or nauseating, but annoying and redundant, we'll say. It's just kind of a, ugh, really? Okay, great, I gotta answer this question again. And like, I had a really, really nice, like, paragraph long copy and paste. I even had 3 at one point just to kind of change it up so I wasn't so like in the same comment thread on my Instagram, you couldn't see me respond the exact same comment 3 times because then it just looks like I'm a robot almost. Like, if someone says this happens. Like, this is a direct reaction. Every time someone asks a stupid question, they get a copy and paste answer. It's almost like it's automated now. It's not even of my volition. I didn't want it to seem like that, but I mean, when you are getting the same questions all the time, you almost feel like you may as well give the same answers every time. Anyway, just a little bit of a rant on that. So then I also got my back work on. Again, anytime I show that I'm going to be tattooing my back, people think it's going to be a full-on blackout, even though I've said time and time again I'm keeping the back. It's black enough. From here on, it's just touch-ups and stuff, and kind of reshaping. Like, there was still a bit of tentacle in the back piece that had to go. It was really hard to see. You only seen it if you knew what you were looking for, because we approached the back from the sides. As we were doing the sides, we hit parts of the back which had the tentacles built into them, which is actually a funny story. I feel like I better tell it now or I never will. But when I was getting my back and my front done originally in the old suit, the guy who did the front and the guy who did the back, Lee, my tattoo artist that's done all the blackouts, well, the guy who did the front wanted to be doing the back. He didn't want Lee working on me. He kind of wanted to own me as a client. So as some kind of a jab, he extended his tentacle into the back. That's why the tentacle's wrapped around the back. People probably thought that was deliberate to tie it all in, but it wasn't. It actually kind of screwed up my back piece. But of course, when you're getting tattooed, you don't always know where someone is. So like, I'm laying on my side here, and of course I can't see what's going on over there, right? I can't tell what's happening for long. You get home and you're like, oh crap. Well, that's going to cause a problem, because I had these architecture like pillars on my back that get broken up by the tentacles, and they were pretty far in there, so even just to cover them was a little bit complicated. I mean, we got there, but they were more complicated to cover than they needed to be. Just goes to show you that people are petty. Sometimes even on your skin, they're petty. That was like his attempt at a jab at the other artist. Ended up just complicating my life a little more than it needed to, but whatever, it's over and done with now. We had a good laugh about it, me and Lee, as we were covering it up, and just how silly the whole thing was. There's a lot of that kind of petty nonsense in the tattoo world, as I really try and stay out of it, but it kind of sneaks in every now and then. Anyway, yeah, so I got the back work done. We kind of changed the finish of it, and we added a lot more definition to the lady on my back's thighs and legs, and just kind of redefined some things. I'll show it off if I can. Got the camera panned back pretty far today because I wanted to see if I could show the whole thing in its entirety. So yeah, good look, I guess. This video may be taken down due to nudity, who knows? My back piece always has trouble when I post it on Instagram. There's always weird algorithm problems, like, so I say that people don't really understand it, but I'll explain it now because I'm on the topic and may as well. So you post something to Instagram, it always has a chance to be seen by your home base, but it may not be seen by your by hashtags or other exposure, like when people share it, or the explore page, things like that, things that draw a new crowd. So basically, when I say that my back piece is censored, people always think that means that people are reporting it or they're taking it down or something, when I don't black out the nipples or the vagina. What actually happens is my post's reach is limited to only my home base, only the people who already follow me. So there's a good chance that no one new will see it, and therefore I'll only lose people that are already following me. I won't gain any new followers, which every now and then is fine, but you can't do that too often, because obviously I don't want to have a stagnant Instagram. You want to keep growing. Why bother doing this if you're not going to be growing, exposing? I recently said to a friend that the main reason I do Instagram and now YouTube is to kind of, not even for necessarily a personal gain. There may be personal gain, but overall, I want to better reshape some of the stereotypes around modified people. That's what I'm mainly working on. Where I live in town, there's no one around here that looks like me, like anywhere. They're not even close. I think some people think that I live in Europe or somewhere that's a little more alternative. But where I live, it's cowboy hats. That's what you see when you go out. Cowboy hats and headerites and really conservative. So what I'm trying to do here is grow to a large enough size, show people that super modified people like myself are just normal people working a job, trying to pay the bills, and they're married, their sons, their daughters, their mothers, their fathers, their employees and employers. I own my own house, and I've got several different little businesses kind of started and different things, and I think that there's a lot of stuff that people that's true about me that people wouldn't think, and I think that's the case for many modified people. So that's been my goal with my Instagram, is not to make a ton of money, because I could have made more money doing stupid things already. Like, I get a lot of people asking me for nudes and stuff like this. Like, many times a day, people will ask me, how much for nudes? Or, how much would you take to show me a picture of your penis or something, like all kinds of stuff like that. So if I wanted to sell out, I could make it just fans and it would be popping, like there's a lot of deals I get sent my way in my DMs on Instagram that I swat away. I'll accept a few now and then that kind of match what I'm doing, but I'm not going to be selling people garbage that, like, who wants to see a Ephemeral Remy sell cans of soup or skin cream, like, unless it's got to do with tattoos. Like, it's not like I'm gonna be pitching makeup and stuff at people, it just doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? That's where I wouldn't fault someone for unfollowing me over something like that. I mean, like I say, I make a little bit of money here and there, but overall this is about exposing what kind of lifestyle a guy that looks like me has, and it's really just very average. You might see a guy clean cut with just blue jeans, t-shirt, whatever, going to work 9 to 5. I have that same lifestyle. I just get tattooed once a week. I just do modification stuff. The other one is I had talked briefly about stretching my labret again, but not being certain on it. Kind of like, yeah, I might do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. It's a good thing my wife doesn't watch all of these, because she thinks it's big enough, and I'm almost scared to tell her. Sorry, Sarah, but I am going to go bigger with my labret. I've got a 21 and a 22 millimeter on the way. The T-backs are going to go back just a little bit farther to accommodate my my lip, so that they don't dig in, because I have a thick lip. But yeah, those will be here probably in a few months. And I have a feeling that I'm not going to need to wear the 21 millimeter, if at all, not long, because my lip is quite loose, like the jewelry. It's to the point where I can almost stick my tongue through it while the jewelry's in it. I don't really know why. It seems to have done it on its own. But what it tells me is that a stretch is, it's not even going to be a stretch. It's going to be just like, it's already that size. So easy 21, maybe 22 right away. But anytime you're going up a size or two, I like to get both at the same time. Gives you something to work towards anyway. Yeah, 22 might be the final resting place for it. I still think it could be a little wider. But if I go any wider than that, then that inevitably means I need to stretch the philtrum again. And I'm not really looking forward to the philtrum, because sometimes even when I take it out, it's hard enough to put back in. It's really hard to get jewelry in my philtrum. If I could get the jewelry in place, it's not too hard to stretch it. But getting a good grip to stretch it is pretty hard, at least for me. I actually seen a guy on South Shore Adornments page. He posted a guy with a 5/8, so I think that's what, 16 millimeters or 17 millimeters philtrum piercing, a wide oval. So it was like smaller than this, but it was the same shape in his philtrum. It's like, that looks pretty cool, actually. If I went just a little bit bigger here, I could do the same thing. I don't know if it would be too much with the labret or not. Maybe chime in on that. Let me know what you think. Another thing that is on the horizon is I'm getting my my conchas pierced soon. And then those, once they're healed, I'm going to start stretching those because, quite frankly, I like what Dragonheart has in his ears, and you know, I could use another little project. Something that's not on the face too. It's kind of low risk and doesn't really make a big impact on my overall look. It's just more of a passion project. Like, I even get excited just thinking about it. Right now I feel like a kid in a candy shop or something, just giddy like Christmas or something, you know? That's how I feel about new piercings and stuff like that. It just makes me very excited. So that's going to happen soon. I've been in the shop doing the piercing thing. I've got 2 dates again next week, but it is fairly part-time. I get quite a few people asking me how it's going there and stuff like that. But again, I'm a really busy person. I've got a full-time job. I've got a son that lives with me, you know, wife, and yeah, so this is the second job, and it's not buttering my bread, so it's not the first focus. I do believe eventually it'll be like my part-time job, like, you know, the old days. Man, we get home from a factory job and you take the cab out for a few extra bucks after work. I think that's kind of going to be what it's like at first. I don't know how much farther it will go than that, but for now I'm just happy to be learning it. So yeah, that's the update on that. So yeah, next week, got a rough day coming up. Got to touch up the stomach. Gonna try and hit all of it in one go. It's gonna be a very, very painful day. I'm expecting that to be one of the most painful tattoo appointments that I'll probably ever have, because I plan on doing about 3 or 4 hours of touching up just on the lower region of my torso, and then I'm gonna be done with it. I don't think that it's gonna need to be hit again. The way that ink sets in your stomach, the reason why it takes 2 passes generally for anything on the stomach to look really good is because it's so stretchy in there. You're gonna not get it all in the first time, most likely. So we've got some spots that are a little bit lighter. I don't know if you can even pick them out on camera, but there are a few spots in there that are a little bit light. When you really kind of stretch the skin, you can see them. And we're just going to hammer that in. We're going to hit the belly button again while we're in there, because that metabolizes pretty quick too. It's pretty hard to get a solid black belly button the whole way in. It's like perfect, and that's what I want. I don't want any of that. I want it perfectly done, so I'm willing to suffer through it. And then, yeah, that's going to be either the last or the second last tattoo appointment I have with Lee before he goes. And then I'll just be seeing him when he comes back to town and stuff like that. But I do have some plans with another artist coming up, so, and that's going to be a lot of fun too, because that's going to be darkening up my chest, these skulls, the head, and extending the jawline potentially. Still not sure on that one. Maybe I had a few people say they didn't like the idea, but I did a poll on Instagram and most people do like the idea, so I'm still kind of like, yeah, because I could go either way. So sometimes getting a 180 on it is good for me. Anyway, if you like this video or any of my other videos, be sure to follow me at the same name, FMORemi, on Instagram, and have a great day.